Activity 6.2 on page 150, adding images to a document. We're going to be using 3 different graphics in this activity: Building with Heart, a PNG graphic, BW Volunteers, and Carrying Plywood. Our My Fact Sheet Graphics document is open. You will insert the organization's logo at the top of the fact sheet, formatting the logo so that it's on a line by itself. You will also add 2 photos to provide more visual interest. So number 1, insert the logo. We're going to press Control Home to bring our insertion point to the very beginning of the document. We're going to hide paragraph marks, so I'm going to turn off my Show Hide button. Then I'm going to go to my Insert tab, and in my Illustrations group, I'm going to select Pictures. And this opens up the Insert Picture dialog box. Don't pay attention to where the textbook has you going. Same way you open your documents is how you're going to open any pictures and graphics as well. This PC. Open up your home drive. Word Part 1. This is Lesson 6, Inserting Graphic Objects. And the graphic we want is Building with Heart. Select it and click Insert. The image is placed at the insertion point. It is formatted in line with the paragraph text. In other words, the paragraph text begins at the right end of the image, continuing in the same line. So we want this graphic to appear on a line by itself. So on our Picture Tools Format Contextual tab, in the Arrange group, we're going to select the Position drop-down. This opens up our position gallery. Various quick layout options are shown. Each option shows how the text and image will be arranged if you select that option. In this case, none of the quick layout options quite meet your needs. We're going to select More Layout Options. This opens up our Layout dialog box. We want to navigate to the Text Wrapping tab. We're going to apply top and bottom. This option will put the image on its own line with text wrapping above or below it. Now in the Distance from Text section at the bottom, we want to change the bottom setting to a 1/2 inch. You can use your scroll arrows, 0.5 inches. This will provide a 1/2 inch of white space padding beneath the image. Okay, from here we're going to click on OK. You can press your Escape key or you can click into your text to deselect the image. And you can see now it's on a line by itself. And we also have a little bit of white space padding in between the paragraph and that graphic. Number 3, we're going to insert an image after the first paragraph. Position the insertion point after the last sentence of the first paragraph as shown. So we have no interest mortgage period, and we're going to click after that. It says to insert the picture volunteers.jpg. We're going to go to Insert, Illustrations group, and Pictures. Make sure you're in your Inserting Graphic Objects subfolder. And here we have the BWH Volunteers graphic. Select that and click Insert. The picture appears directly beneath the paragraph. You can see that it's quite large. We're going to resize the image. If you can't see the entire image, scroll and zoom out as needed to show the entire image. So I'm just going to scroll out a couple times here so I can see the whole thing and a little text above and below it. Click the image if it's still if it doesn't still have the 8 selection handles around its border, which show that it is selected. So when you see this border with these selection handles, that means the image is selected. Drag the lower right corner of the image up and to the left until the image is about 2 inches wide, using the ruler as a reference. So we want it to be about that wide on our page. So I'm going to take this handle, I'm going to click and drag it, and I can eyeball it until it's about 2 inches. So that looks about good. Your sizing does not need to be exact. You can adjust the image size later if necessary. Now number 5, we're going to wrap text around the image. With the image selected, still you have the layout options, that little button in the top right hand corner of the image. We're going to click on that to show our options, and in the with text wrapping section, we want to set this to square text wrapping. And you can press escape or the X button in this layout options window, and you can see now the text goes up the right hand side of the image. Now we're going to move the image in line with the first paragraph. So we want to make sure that our picture is still selected, which mine is. And I'm going to drag the image in line with the top right corner of the first paragraph as shown. So let me scroll up a little bit. So here's our first paragraph. I want to pull this image to be about here. So you can see as I'm moving it, the text is wrapping around it. That shows me my right indent, and I'm just going to bring that up so it's in line with that first sentence. Alright, so that's about similar to what the book shows. You get as close as you can, doesn't have to be exact. Adjust the image size until you're pleased with the result. Make sure the image is still selected and drag the lower left corner of the image to resize it. As you resize the image, text will wrap automatically to adjust. You should also scroll up and down or zoom out so you can see the effect on page breaks as other paragraphs adjust their position to accommodate the different size of the image. So you can resize as you want, but you can see how that affects the text as you're resizing it. So get it to wherever you like and you can keep it like that. Number 8, insert an image in a table. We're going to scroll to find the Who Can Volunteer table on page 2. So this is actually a table. You can see it has a table selector when I'm hovering over it. It's just a table of 2 cells though. Some of the text from this section is now in a table. One of the cells is empty, and we're going to place an image in this empty cell. We're going to move our insertion point into our empty cell to the left, and we're going to insert the picture carrying plywood. I'm going to go to Insert and the Pictures command in my Illustrations group. We're in the Inserting Graphic Objects folder, and here I have Carrying Plywood. Select that and click Insert. The picture appears in the cell, but the table layout has been, a bit squished here. Look at that. It doesn't look very appealing right now. So we're going to resize this image. Examine the margins on the ruler. The page area minus the margins is about 6.5 inches wide. To make the image fill about half the page width, you can adjust it to 3 inches wide. Make sure the image is still selected. I'm going to go up to my Picture Tools Format Contextual tab, and in my Size group, going to select my dialog box launcher. From here, I want to make sure that I'm on the size tab, and also make sure that lock aspect ratio is checked off. So as the height is either increased or decreased, the width is going to stay in proportion to that height, and vice versa. So make sure lock aspect ratio is checked off, and in the width group we're going to change absolute to 3 inches. So you can see as I'm changing the width, the height is automatically changing as well to keep that proportionality. So 3 inches, that makes my height 1.99 inches. Don't worry if your number is different. Select OK. So we're looking better already. Right now we're going to crop the image. On the Picture Tools Format Contextual tab in the size group, we're going to select our crop button. So that's the top part of the crop command. And we're going to drag the bottom center cropping control upward to crop about 1/3 of the image as shown. So make sure that you're getting the crop handle and not that resizing handle. This is the resizing handle cursor. This is the crop handle cursor. Very important. We're going to bring that up, go to about where her belt is, somewhere about there. And then we're going to drag the left center cropping control to the right until the volunteer worker is centered in the image. So now we're going to take this crop handle in the center here and make it so she's right in the middle of our image. You can click outside of your image to deselect it, and that crops our picture for us. We're going to click on our picture again to select it. We're going to drag the lower right selection handle to resize as you see fit. So I'll bring it to about here. We're going to remove the table's borders. We're going to select the table that contains the image. So we want to actually click into the table and not the picture. And we can select the table selector. And from our home tab and our paragraph group, we're going to select the drop down. Whoops, I am picking the wrong thing. Select the border drop down, and from here we want no border for our table. You can click anywhere outside of that. So just looking at it, if you were just scrolling through this document, you wouldn't necessarily know that that was set up as a Word table, but once you click into it or you hover over it, you can see you get that table selector, but also you get your design and layout contextual tabs. So that's a dead giveaway that this is formatted as a table. So we're going to go up to our quick access toolbar and click Save. And I can close out of Word and my document. In this lesson, you learned how to insert graphics into Word documents, including symbols and special characters, illustrations, pictures, and online pictures.